Joining me is Sky News Washington correspondent Annelise Nielsen. Annelise, thank you so much for your time. What have the leaders actually agreed to?
Well, our understanding is these negotiations did start around 18 months ago, not too long after Scott Morrison came into office. But what we've been told is it was at more of an operational level between the two countries, between defence officials, that they came up to this point. We know that Scott Morrison then quite early on also asked his defence officials to say, look, what's possible here? What is the smart thing to do? And it took them about a year to come back with this best recommendation. And it was then that it was more escalated to the political levels. And so at a political level, we're being told that this was more owned by the Biden administration, but it certainly started under the Trump administration. And this is one of the things that Australia is very in lockstep with the US on. This is probably the strongest part of our alliance here, that we can agree on China being a threat in the region, and this is a huge investment on that front. You're right, we don't know how much this is going to cost yet, and the devil's always in the detail with things like this. But what we are going to see is a greater British presence in the region as well. We know that they've been pulling out some of those key assets in the Middle East, which I know we've talked about over previous crosses, and this is all part of a broader long-term strategy. And yeah, like you said, that there was that sideline meeting at the G7 between the three leaders. It has been negotiated over some time because everyone is in agreement that something more needs to be done.
So it's not just the subs either, is it? There's a much greater commitment to the region. There's going to be other weaponry also discussed, the missiles, better missile technology, Tomahawk missiles, etc., etc. Now, was there any reason given for building the submarines still in Adelaide instead of, I don't know, buying them off the shelf from the US or Britain or whatever?
Well, the argument there is that they already have these capabilities about submarine maintenance, all of that set up, and so it would be a bit of a waste. But I think it's hard to see that through any kind of prism other than it being a political decision. Like you said, it was a political decision in the beginning to set up that whole program in Adelaide to support jobs there and lock up a few key swing seats. So it's not hard to see that perspective, but it is also going to be a longer term discussion about exactly what we are signing up for here. What are we buying from the US? What we've been told is that this technology that's been provided by the US, it has a sealed chamber for the nuclear technology, and that's a huge advancement compared to what we would have signed on for 10 years ago even. And that's meant that it will last for the lifetime of this submarine, the nuclear material within that. And so that's a huge benefit for maintaining it. So there won't need to be any kind of waste disposal in Australia, all of that stuff, because that was, I think, the first thing all of us thought of when this announcement came through was, well, this has been a pretty toxic discussion in Australia about having nuclear processing on shore. What would that look like? And so they've managed with this new technology to sidestep it. And it is quite significant too. The US has said that they haven't shared any nuclear propulsion technology with any country since the UK in 1958. And that was a one-off as well.
Annelise Nielsen, thank you so much for your time.